Season 3 is coming in hot for Modern Warfare 3 as well as Warzone, and it comes with the return of a fan favorite, Rebirth Island. What I hope to achieve with this video is saving you a ton of time not having to read through the long blog post or spend hours in game not understanding how a game mechanic works. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up with all the latest and greatest updates for Call of Duty. I'm also going to have my Season 3 glitch compilation coming out soon as Season 3 drops, and I test all of those glitches, so make sure you check that out. And then lastly, there are video chapters down below at the bottom of the video. You can skip through and watch the content that you're interested in and skip over what you're not, so make sure you like and subscribe and enjoy. Let's get right into things, and at first glance I noticed multiple huge content updates in this season, including the return of Rebirth Island, one of our favorites. Now it's going to return as a resurgence map as well as six multiplayer maps, including what looks to be 4 maps that will be included right on launch, so that is amazing. But let's go section by section quickly because there is a lot that you don't see from this roadmap. And starting off strong, of course, we're going to start with Rebirth Island. Now, Rebirth Island, there's a couple of huge updates to this as well as some controversy that actually happened as a part of this latest trailer. Now, there was a Rebirth Island trailer that dropped before the Season 3 trailer. And players noticed that Prison, the literal best spot on the map in my opinion, as well as a few other spots, were blown up. Now, Raven Software actually confirmed something and kind of calmed everyone's nerves, and they said that this was known as an infill strike. Now, if you've ever played Battlefield, any of the Battlefield games since 1942, you may have noticed, or rather Bad Company 2, you may have noticed that buildings explode. Well, this is Raven Software's equivalent of it for Modern Warfare. So what's going to happen is sometimes Prison will implode, sometimes there will be a large explosion on the map. I, for one, am fully supporting this. I think that this is an amazing thing to bring to Call of Duty, and back in the day, because I've played for 15 plus years in Call of Duty, this is something that I'm really excited about because that was something that Battlefield always had that Call of Duty never had, right? The maps on Call of Duty, and this is kind of my only criticism of Call of Duty, have always been very stagnant, right? And in terms of nothing would change, right? And so that kind of brings me to my second point, and I'm going to bring this up later when we go over that section, but there's going to be a variable time of day. So you're going to have 3 different times a day that you're actually going to be able to play on Rebirth Island. So it's going to be really cool. Weather elements will change, but we'll go into more detail into that later. So to keep things on schedule, I will quickly mention these modes and contracts all for Rebirth Island right below here, including that there will be a ranked resurgence mode for Rebirth Island. The Champions Quest, which is not new, will be offered for this map, as well as a brand new contract called Spy Drones. Now basically what this is it requires you to locate some flying drones that will be appearing to gather some data, is what it says. You need to destroy them as fast as possible and you will gain a reward as a result. So the faster that you are with this contract, the more rewards that you will get. So that's a little hint for you guys to take advantage of that contract if you find it in Rebirth Island. Chugging right along here, we're going to go over the 6 Call of Duty multiplayer maps. Now you can see them at the top right here: Emergency, 6-star, Grime, Tanked, Grow House, and Checkpoint. Now basically Emergency, 6-star, Tanked, and Grow House, the first 4, if you're looking at it vertically, are going to be included at launch. Now the rest, the other 2, which is Grime and Checkpoint, will be included later in season. But you should know Checkpoint number 1 is a part of Rebirth Island. Just know that it is near the stronghold areas, so if you play Warzone, make sure you practice in this area because you can play that map in multiplayer as well. But just so that we can get through this guide very quickly, I'm going to go over the 4 maps that are going to be included on launch, including Emergency, 6-star, Tanked, and Grow House. So let's go over Emergency first. It's near a medical facility. It's going to be nestled in between a bunch of mountains. 6-star is going to be a Dubai resort that's on top of a skyscraper. Now this one is going to have a lot of short-range combat. Emergency is going to be kind of a medium-sized combat. Now Tanked, on the other hand, this is actually part of Vandal. So this is part of the Vandal Warzone map that will allow you to actually have longer sight lines apparently, so you can use long range to medium range weapons, as well as an inside obviously in the aquarium where you can use shorter range weapons. Now last but not least is Grow House. Grow House actually came from Call of Duty Vanguard. Now this is a remastered map. Apparently the entire vibe has changed, the environment has changed, if you will, so it will look a little bit different, but the general placement of the map should be the same. Now quickly, I'm going to go over the modes for multiplayer that are coming, including Capture the Flag, One in the Chamber, Minefield, and Escort. So starting off strong, we have Capture the Flag. Now Capture the Flag is going to be included on launch, so you're going to be able to play that with all of the new maps that are on launch. Also seeing a return is One in the Chamber. Now One in the Chamber is one of my personal favorite game modes, so I can't wait for that. That is just a single shot pistol game. Next we have Minefield, which is how they describe multiplayer with mines, so that's it. And then lastly is Escort. So if you've ever played Overwatch, they essentially copied Overwatch's game mode, so you're going to be escorting something, and that is the objective for the game. Now, as more information comes out on those game modes, because 2 of them, Minefield and Escort, are going to be in season, I will keep you guys updated. But let's move right along. So jumping right into things, we're going to go with the features section next. So we're going to talk about Climb and Punishment, the Gulag public event first. This one's pretty simple actually. 2 ladders will drop. You have a choice to make. Either you and your opponent can go back into the game free of charge without any fighting, or you fight to the death and one of you leaves. So it's pretty simple. That's going to be a really good addition to Battle Royale, and I can't wait for it. Next up, we have biometric scanners. So essentially what this is anywhere on the map, you're going to find 10 biometric scanners, and they're terminals that include like full biometric scanning capabilities is what they put. Long story short, if you go up to this once per game, you can actually take out a key card. It's going to have your stats and everything like that, along with an XP reward. And if you inspect the key card, you'll see it contains your operator name, clan tag, and access level. Now, these take up a slot in your backpack. They can be dropped or looted and can unlock a special menu in any Rebirth Island buy station during the remainder of the match. So there's 6 different rarities. You have bronze, silver, gold, platinum, polyatomic, and Orion. Geez, I'm just not on it today. But long story short, depending on your level that you actually have, when you take it to the buy station, you can get more and more rewards. So for example, bronze, you can get random ammunition, you can get cash, you can get armor plates, lethals, or tacticals. And then Orion, which is the highest one, you get a redacted free equipment selects at the buy station, as well as a classified weapon or additional redacted. Now of course they want to be extra careful about giving us all the details. So long story short, you actually can get some additional in-game or permanent rewards, so be on the lookout for that. Next we have smart displays. So smart displays are actually pretty simple. Not only is it going to show the weather events that are coming up, such as the variable time of day that we talked about, but also you are going to be able to see heat maps. So this is really good for like those really good players who are trying to rack up kill counts during a game, or have a very aggressive game where they're fighting people the entire time. You can actually use these to know exactly where most of the enemies are. It's not going to show you exactly where they are, but it's going to show you the general area. Next up, we have the Field Upgrade Squad Rage. Now this is pretty simple. It's going to be available on Rebirth Island map. Essentially what it allows you to do is stave off gas, resist the effects of enemy tacticals, and utilize the infinite tactical sprint, increased health, and regeneration during the rage. And what you essentially are going to be able to do is share that with your teammates. So there's going to be a circle around you, and if you use this new field upgrade, then everyone will essentially get the rage perk for the remainder of that time. After that, we have Squad Assemble. This is pretty simple as well. You're going to drop where your squad is and you will get increased rewards. That's pretty much the basis of it. It is completely optional, but it allows you to essentially gain some XP or some rewards mid-game as you're dropping in. After that, we have variable time of day. I've already gone over this earlier in the video, but long story short, there's going to be different weather events and times of day that you can actually play them out. I think this is absolutely sick, and I cannot wait for it. Next up, we have the trade station. Now it's currently being installed across Rebirth Island for an in-season activation is what they say, so this will not be on launch, but you access this and trade unwanted weapons and you will get lesser quality ones. So long story short, if you have a crappy ultra weapon, for example, or legendary weapon, then you can trade down for a weapon that you actually enjoy and then upgrade it later on. Now next up, we have the perk package specialist. Now this is one of the coolest features to Call of Duty, and it's actually coming back to Warzone. So in addition to the default perks that you're going to get from this for all operators, you're also going to be granted the advantage of following 29 additional perks, but only for the remainder of the match. So this is going to be a really cool feature, and they have a lot of redactions in this because it's a very popular feature. So as more information comes out and the season actually drops and it comes out in season, we're going to be able to tell you more about it. Alright, last but not least, a returning kill streak called Foresight is coming back. This is an awesome one, and I highly suggest that you guys use it every single time that you see it. It would be super useful for me. If you like playing the circle in Warzone, Foresight will allow you to know exactly where the map is actually going to end. It's going to tell you each subsequent circle that is coming up as far as the storm goes, and you can take advantage of that and be in the right area at the right time and essentially defend the area rather than having to actually like attack into the last circle. Now let's keep hopping along. We're gonna go ahead and go over the Modern Warfare Zombies content. Now this stuff is cool, but all of it is going to be coming in season as per usual. It seems like they only release Zombies content in season, not on launch, but I'm going to be going over it with you guys because it is awesome. So first of all, there is a new story mission where you're going to save Dr. Jansen yet again, but it's going to be in a new rift. So keep in mind that this is going to be a brand new area. Now there's also going to be a new Dark Ether in general, just like there has been each iteration of the season, or season 2 Reloaded, for example, there has been new Dark Ether rifts. There's going to be a brand new one, and I have some images for you here for you guys as well on that. Now there's also going to be a new warlord called Rainmaker. Rainmaker, essentially it's going to be located, I believe, in the southeast portion of the map, if my assumptions are correct based on what I'm reading. Essentially what's going to happen is you're going to have a fortress that you need to penetrate. However, you are going to have a lot of trouble with it because they like mortars and airstrikes and things of that nature. So you are going to have to make your way into the castle, and then at that point you can slow down and kind of do close range combat. But I expect it to be a pretty hard warlord, but a lot of them have not been that difficult, so who knows. And then last but not least, we have the brand new schematics. Now the 3 new schematics are pretty simple. First of all, we have dead wire detonators. Now what this is going to allow you to do is your lethals as well as some explosives are going to have dead wire attached as well. So it should have some type of electricity effect to it, as well as if you've ever used dead wire, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I don't really need to explain that much more. You also have the golden mass filter. This is definitely going to be something that people are using the tombstone duplication glitch for. If people are doing that, or if it's not patched by then essentially, long story short, it's regenerating mass. So it's the gold mass is going to actually regenerate after you've been in storms and stuff like that. If you don't know, somehow in Warzone and in Zombies, as your mask is used, it obviously degrades. This one is going to be able to regenerate, and I presume last even longer. And then lastly, we're going to have the Sergeant's Beret. Now this one is really cool. When you use it, you are going to be disguised from the mercs, which is interesting. They didn't have any actual content on this, like any images or anything like that, but apparently it's also going to summon a trusty merc bodyguard who shadows you to the end. That is quote word for word what they said. So I have no idea what that means, but imagine if you can spawn a dog as well as a merc bodyguard. I have no idea. They're coming up with some creative stuff, guys. I definitely suggest that you stick around for this season because it looks really cool. But that's about it for the Zombies content. Next up on the list, we're going to go over all of the new weapons that are coming out in Season 3. And starting off strong, we have the FJX Horus. Now, essentially what this is it's an MP9. Now, you're going to have 18 levels on this. It's a compact weapon, and it's good for close range. Next, you have the Moore Sniper Rifle, which is one of my favorites from Advanced Warfare. That's going to have 19 levels, and it's going to be a single load railgun, essentially, which when they're called railguns, you know that they are strong weapons. Next, we have the Gladiator, which is going to be a really cool, probably extremely quick knife that you can use. And then lastly, we're going to have the BAL-27, which is going to have 19 levels to load. Now, it's important to keep in mind that BAL would be coming mid-season, all right? Now, the others are going to be available at launch as far as what I'm reading, so just know that, and know that you can use the BAL coming soon. Next, let's go over the new operators that are coming out along with all of the new skins. So jumping right into the new operators and skins in the Battle Pass, which this is the Season 3 Battle Pass, you can unlock a lot of the new weapons, but you can also instantly unlock Snoop Dogg and Makarov, as well as a few other skins. And starting off strong, you can see this cool wolf skin that is going to be included. It looks like a wolf belt or something like that. This is the new Snoop Dogg skin. It's Snoop Dogg 2 is what they're calling it. Super creative, right? And then you also have the Banshee skin as well, along with the Hush / Bashir Shirwa skin, which I have no idea who that is, but it looks like an alright skin. I'm just excited for that wolf skin, at least as a variant of that Shirwa skin or whatever it is. I'm very excited for those actual operators. Last but not least, as a part of Black Cell, you will get the Stasis skin, which looks like a sick skin, to be honest, as well as there is a free camo that's actually out. So if you're watching the video right now, it's available April 3rd, and you can find the link in the article below. Now, also included in this season, but as paid skins, you can get Cheech and Chong. They also include a Tracer pack. You have Godzilla skins, which look absolutely sick. You have the Emperor pack, which is announced to TBD be released, as well as all of these other operators, which I love that Sloth skin and the Dragon skin. I gotta be honest, the Raptor skin looks sick. I'm probably gonna get a couple. Alright, so last but not least, we're going to be going over the new perks and new equipment section. So first of all, let's go over perks. I'm going to go with Gunslinger first because I think that it's the coolest. It's a secondary weapon specialist. So when you wear this vest, you have no primary slot, but you have 2 secondary slots. So you're going to be quicker, refreshing stamina on kills, improve reload speed, reload while sprinting, all of those cool perks, but you will not have a primary slot. The next one I will go over is Modular Assault Kit. Essentially, this is a lethal and tactical scavenger. You're going to have more tacticals as well as gear slots for gloves, boots, as well as other gear. And then you're going to start with maximum reserve ammo, resupply lethals and tacticals from dead players. So it's a scavenger, obviously, vest. So next up is Compression Carrier. You're going to have assisted healing and gas protection. Equipment slots, you're going to have 1 lethal. Gear slots, you're going to have gloves, boots, and gear, but you will have the ability to immediately regenerate health after a kill or objective capture, reduced effects from gas grenades as well. Then next up, we have Reinforced Boots. You're going to be immune to any movement reduction effects, which is huge. I mean, that is a huge thing in multiplayer. Next, you have the new perk, which is Gear High Gain Antenna. This is the minimap is going to be zoomed out for you and your nearby allies. Enemies will remain on the radar longer for you and nearby allies if nearby ally has CCT or the Comms Vest perk. So nearby enemies and allies will ping the radar as well in much more frequent time. So let's go over the actual equipment as well. You have the EMD mine, which is coming mid-season. It's a proximity triggered mine that sticks to surfaces, so it's like a sticky mine. If you've ever played 007 Goldeneye, make sure you comment below because I definitely immediately thought of that. So last but not least, we have the new field upgrade, which is called Enhanced Vision Goggles. This is coming mid-season, and you can toggle between normal vision and enhanced vision with integrated target highlighting, and it is huge to use and is super useful. However, just keep in mind that it has a limited battery. Now that's about it for the overview. If you watched up until this point, please comment below. This is my first time making these update videos on a new season. Hopefully this takes off because I like to do content like this. I like to talk about things that I'm excited about. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. But more importantly, comment below if you actually watched this whole video. I would really appreciate your support and your comments or concerns. Make sure you leave any questions down below, and I will catch you in the next update.